Mark Rubio just found something huge, and this is Decoy Voice, and I'm thinking this is about how Hassan Piker might be going to prison. You know, we don't know. We don't know with how many heinous things he said, with how many people he's doxed, with how many things like laws. Well, he has broken laws, but yeah, we can see. We'll see.
As Secretary of State Marco Rubio is clamping down on communism in our country.
Is now investigating Piker and Code Pink, who hosted his trip to Cuba. The feds are looking at funding for the trip, which some think is tied to the Chinese Communist Party. The Trump administration wants to know.
It's funny. No matter what, it's always tied back to China. It's always tied back to China. What's funny is like the protesters when Maduro was captured. 3 hours later, the operation happened at like 2 in the morning. 3 hours later, they already had signs printed. They already had people organized to protest about the capture of Maduro. They had everything pre-planned out because they're financed from another nation. It's considered treason. It's considered treason. Like, it's one thing to get paid by a nation to be like, you know, that nation might not be so bad. Well, yeah, I don't know, because it's a problematic line to when you're being financed for it. You're pushing propaganda. Like for me, I'm not being paid by India to like, you know, praise India. I've traveled to India, which is why I can praise India. I mean, if India offered to pay me money, I wouldn't say no, but I'd also have to disclose that just so everyone knows they paid me. But of course, I'm not being paid. I just have family there now. I have loved being there. I want to have a house there. I want to have a car there. I want to be able to travel more. But yeah, I've been there, so I can say that.
If Piker and Code Pink violated U.S. laws and sanctions in support of Cuba's communist government.
In addition, Rubio has terminated the legal status of Cuban operatives, with the feds detaining 3 of them, notably Yoga Dominguez, who was affiliated with the Cuban Institutes of Friendship with the People, the same group that helped organize trips with Code Pink that come visit Cuba. That one group that went to Cuba with Hassan. And honestly, we all assumed it was a propaganda tour, but it's difficult to prove the difference between useful idiots and important paid-for operatives. Now, we shouldn't assume anything necessarily about Hassan, except even he thinks this means he's going to prison.
Earlier this month, I designated ICAP several other Cuban organizations responsible for engaging in
you know, it speaks volumes when you've gotta blur the chat.
Subversive anti-American activities. I don't understand why they're covering this as like the organization that sent Hassan Piker to Cuba. Bro, Trump is gonna put me in prison, I swear to God. What the
yeah. Why are they investigating? Because they can't have terrorists in their own nation. They can't have foreign ops in their own nation. They need to get rid of as many foreign ops as possible. I'm surprised that they have allowed to have so much of a foothold in the United States of America. I mean, that's how you get all this fascist talking point nonsense. Because what's funny is the people who root for China are the same ones calling America fascist when who they are isn't allowed in China. They end up in work camps in China. I mean, the only reason why China isn't dealing with the same issue that the UK is dealing with, that like Dearborn, Michigan, US is dealing with, that like India's dealing with, that Japan is dealing with, is because all the Muslims that go into the nation are put in work camps. But also Christians too, and any other faith that doesn't align with China. They're all put in work camps. And what's funny is the same people that will praise China will call the United States of America a fascist nation for just trying to kick illegal immigrants out. Just trying to make sure that due process isn't being upheld, but it needs to be upheld. It needs to be upheld. Extreme left and extreme right are both harmful to for a country. Well, the sad thing is they're both exactly the same thing. They're both exactly the same thing. Extreme racists that, well, one of them is a nationalist, which I think is terrible. And the other one, well, is hates the nation, which I think is terrible. That's why I'm more for patriots.
What the hell is going on? We're about to hit in 1930s Germany if we haven't already hit it. The State Department is like actively pursuing some group that I guess like was also a part of the humanitarian aid mission that we did in Cuba that I didn't even know about.
And maybe he can plead ignorance, as maybe he was genuinely in the dark. Or maybe the fact that when he was simply subpoenaed, not even charged, but just someone they wanted to question, and he already seemed to think he was going to prison, makes me believe there's something he definitely doesn't want discovered, as he's already suggesting his arrest would be politically motivated. But as Asmund Gold says, for all of us, this is what we voted for.
We are now one step closer to Hassan going to jail.
No, brother.
Oh no, a post by the
Or
secretary.
that is to friendship with the people, or ICAP's been a vehicle for radical left-wing extremism and subversive foreign influence in the United States and across our hemisphere. ICAP's the Cuban regime's premier influence and intelligence front group.
True.
Exploiting its vast network to spy on Americans, promote anti-Western propaganda, coordinate foreign influence operations, and organize revolutionary leftist movements around the world. Earlier this month, I designated ICAP as a
Dude, is Marco...
See, that's the thing. Like, if you are paid to do something, or if the government of China had messaged me and told me to go out there, you have to be forward with your audience. The problem with someone like Hassan Piker is he pretends like he's never contact. It's like, no, it's a humanitarian aid. When you're being contacted by the government itself, it's no longer humanitarian aid, it's a propaganda tour. You're literally brought in to push propaganda. You're not bringing humanitarian aid, you're pushed there to push a narrative. And then, of course, they're going to flip the bill for someone who's trying to push a narrative instead of trying to provide housing for their own people or power for their own people.
Rubio actually the guy to dismantle these groups? Because as a Cuban American, he probably has like a very unique distaste for these people. Maybe Marcus Rubio can be our salvation. Like, if Marco runs, I'm gonna vote for him.
As previously, we wouldn't want to jail our enemies. We're simply disagreeing politically.
See, this is a bad sign, though. A bad sign. So we have two good potential upcoming presidents, candidates. We have J.D. Vance, which I'm more, privy to because I feel like me and him could get along, mainly because his wife is also from India. He traveled to India to get married. He has kind of the same kind of experience. I think me and him could get along. And then Marco Rubio, who also has done great. Like, the problem is, if one of them runs, the other one has to basically run as the VP for them, and then serve time with them, and then run themselves. That's the only way it's going to work. Because if they both run, we're going to have the same issue we had during FDR. FDR was it during FDR? I think it was during FDR. FDR was president for like 2 terms, and he was running for a 3rd term, and Theodore Roosevelt was unhappy with the things FDR, his nephew, was doing. So, because Theodore Roosevelt and Franklin D. Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt was the nephew to Theodore Roosevelt. So, Theodore Roosevelt ran again, and he split the Republican Party, which is why FDR just started winning, because at that point, the Republican Party had fractured into 2. There were 2 that were running simultaneously. Some wanted Theodore Roosevelt back, some wanted the new blood back into office. So when you split the vote, the other party's of course going to win. Gonna win. And we can't have that happen again. So we can't have Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance both run at the same time. We'd have to have them run at different times because we don't need them competing with each other.
But the second they took Trump in for a mugshot, just so they can claim the stupid talking point of, how can you be pro-law and order?
According to me, the left wing is more dangerous because the right is at least vocal about their ways. True. And the right just cares about its own borders. They're not going to cause problems for the rest of the nation. This Hassan guy should be behind the bars. They're working on it.
While supporting a felon, the Democrats officially made lawfare just part of politics. Not to mention these charges aren't about building valuations. This is about foreign agents, designated enemies of the state, potentially purchasing influence in American elections. But nah, Hassan frames this as, we're just hate. All he wants is healthcare, fairness in the workplace, and ending endless wars. When no, people treat you like the villain because everybody thinks you
I stayed in America for a while, and I must say the feud between FDR and Theodore Roosevelt, Theodore, reshaped the right wing. You know what? What's funny is most Americans don't even know about the feud between Theodore Roosevelt and his nephew. Most Americans don't know that. Happy 4th of July. 250 years is crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Still a baby nation.
Executed your pooch, or at the very least, get unreasonably angry when she briefly stands up during your 8-hour live stream. Not to mention how this rich kid constantly simps for socialism, celebrates when his side finally votes it in to NYC, who then immediately cuts the AC for the peasants.
Every business owner Please set your thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the stress on our power grid.
Meanwhile, setting his thermostats at 54.
While the mayor encouraged residents to keep air conditions set at 78 degrees, he may not be following his own advice. New York Post took a thermometer into City Hall and found that nearly every area of the building was cooler than the mayor's
Con Air. Good movie. Good movie.
78-degree mandate.
People keep calling this the warmth of collectivism, but I just see it as a sum of stupidity. It's not like we don't have endless examples of socialism, resulting in the elites enjoying what capitalism commonly provides, while only the serf class is expected to sacrifice. And that's exactly what these arrests are about. Socialists supporting Americans, traveling to communist Cuba, rocking $5,000 outfits for social media, enjoying rock concerts.
It is insane how Hassan Piker's outfit went viral to the point where a woman made fun of him so much to where now he's wearing suits. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense, because when the hit piece came out from a Shoe on Head, from what I understand, that's when Hassan Piker started wearing suits. What's wrong with wearing a t-shirt? America! America! There's nothing wrong with it.
During the day in 5-star hotel accommodations at night. Meanwhile, the common Cuban citizen lost electricity, reportedly even during surgeries. We don't want this third world nonsense in America. That's why it takes propaganda to promote socialism as appealing.
But if there's one avenue that we have not made a single dent in, it's socialism but rich. That is catnip for every broke boy on the planet. Every person
because in socialism, you can't be rich unless you're the one in power. Because everyone needs equal treatment. There's a reason why every single society that has had socialism has either had a dictatorship where they have a free labor force, where they put people in camps to do the majority of the menial jobs for them, or guess what? The people are starving and eating rats. They're hunting rats, eating them and cooking them for themselves because that's how they have to survive. They can't get a normal basic meal. There has never been one successful socialist society. I mean, I guess unless you say Switzerland, but they have like closed borders. It's very niche, but at the same time, it only operates because the elites are able to support the people at the bottom. The elites are able to support, and they know they're supporting. The problem is, in a lot of socialist society, people get in the way, and they don't want to flip the bill for the people at the bottom. They want to hold on to as much as possible.
Making $35,000 a year. When they hear someone go, oh, this guy's a rich socialist, isn't that hypocritical? That is catnip, dude. Every other week, there's another 45-minute YouTube video essay. Hassan is a hypocritical socialist because he's rich. And then they run the route of like all the previous things that I never have implied or anything like that. They'll be like, oh, he came from a rich background. He lied about his background. I never did.
I said I was broke because my parents, my dad, went broke by the time I got to college. And I was broke for the first decade almost.
And then it's like, dog up there.
Well, why lie? Why lie? I mean, I swear. Like, I've seen the similarities where, like, Hassan wishes he had, like, Asmongold's upbringing. Asmongold was dirt poor, living off the system until he finally made it big. So, Asmongold. And Hassan really wants that rags to riches story. So he pretends he had that rags to riches story. Like for me, I was in the lower middle class. My parents were able to provide for me. The only thing I could say that was difficult for me is I was sick growing up. I had a lot of illnesses growing up. I had brain surgery at 20, which I finally got better to actually start going out to college and doing things. Of course, I went to an art school, which is completely useless in the real world. Completely useless. So yeah, it gets me nowhere. So I'm working a menial labor job and doing this on the side. But yeah, it's just like, that's what he wants. He wants that rags to riches story because everyone loves an underdog story. Everyone loves an underdog story. So he lies about it. But why? Just be honest. Just be honest. People prefer transparency over blatantly being lied to. Blatantly being lied to. Well, at least real people. Cults, as soon as they get lied to, they just have to buy into the lie because they don't want to believe that they've been sending money for several years to a person who's been lying to them. Asmongold still lives in like he is dirt poor, living off the system. Yeah, he hasn't changed. Still living in the exact same house that his mother lived in. The exact same house. The exact same. And that's the thing. It's just like, for me, I want to move to a different location. I want to move to a different state. I hate the state of California. I hate being here. But one of the best times was when I lived in Alaska, right before COVID. I flew back home because, like, I remember I was in Alaska during the time when I remember seeing the news and there was an emergency landing at the base in Alaska because a Chinese flight needed to emergency land. And I was just like, huh, that's interesting. And then I flew home like a week or two later. I kid you not. I think it was almost 36 hours after I landed, all flights were canceled. All flights were canceled because it was dangerous to travel. And then, yeah, stuck back in California, not being able to travel. So it's like, yeah, I need to get out of this place. I need to get out of this place. I hate the state of California. I'm not content where I'm at. Good on Asmongold for wanting to stay in the house he grew up in the house everyone grew up in.
Brothel. It's just every single time.
Hey, dude, you got a new subscriber there.
Thank
you.
Socialism but rich.
How dare his detractors use something like his history to criticize his talking points, as no socialist can ever shake the contradiction of we need the rich to share their wealth, but not my wealth, as the first rule of socialism must be never share the riches made off of socialism. And despite the fact that NYC was asked to shut off their AC, Hassan's still promoting socialist congressional candidates.
I think there has to be an immediate pathway for every single undocumented immigrant that's here in this country today.
Even softball interviews for socialist candidates for governor.
Super easy, super simple. Rapid fire, do you support repealing Act 10?
Yes.
Universal childcare?
Yes.
Free school meals?
Yes.
Guaranteed pay leave?
Yes.
Abolishing ICE?
Yes.
As this stream apparently raised over $50,000 for this idiot, when it really just called this specific image into question of what appears to be Hassan with a tail wearing a diaper. And I even thought that was photoshopped, but no, it was plainly there on stream. And even though social media users are laughing at him over it, I honestly believe this gives him credibility in his preferred circles. I've briefly seen his streams where he panhandles pennies, begging, I need this many more paid for subscriptions, then I'll sing along to a song about Charlie Kirk. And to most adult individuals, seeing a socialist millionaire in a mansion singing a song about someone who was assassinated isn't something we'd spend our hard-earned money on. So seeing Hassan openly...
Is he an adult? Is he an adult? Like, for me, I know I can't dance. Like, the only time I've ever danced was at the wedding. Well, at the henna day, not the actual wedding, but it was at the henna day. It's the only time I've ever danced. I can't dance, and no one can pay me enough to dance. The funny thing is, like, I think the other day I was like, you know what? I was at work, and I was like, walking through the building I was at, and I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm doing nothing. Maybe my wife is going to hear this and then that'll make her excited. Maybe I should learn the simple, 4 steps for, like, you know, a simple watts. Cause it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you know, something like that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can learn that just so I can dance with my wife. It'd be nice to. It'd be nice to just be able to hold her and dance with her. But nobody can pay me enough to dance. And the fact that he's literally being, what is it? The homeless people on the side of the road that will say, I'll do anything for money. I'll do anything for cash. Hassan Piker is becoming one of those. An absolute lolcow. An absolute lolcow. Hassan, like, people have so many followers. It's dangerous. Yeah, it's absolutely dangerous. I'm surprised I haven't gotten hate yet. I'm surprised I haven't gotten hate for, because the second they find me, I am gonna completely my page will disappear. So if my page disappeared, just be aware that my page was found. My page was found. You have less subscribers because you share the truth. YouTube's algorithm pushes negative bias content more. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the only way people that, like myself, will grow is primarily if it's pushed by other people that are, like, if Decoy Voice or Asmongold or even Ethan Klein, people that are more center than far right or far left. They have to be in the center. They can't be to the extreme fringes. If they're in the extreme fringes, then I'm doomed. You'll see my channel disappear. You'll see my channel disappear. When will we see you do a Bollywood song? Technically, I did at my wedding. Technically, I did.
place that poster on his wall means we will likely never understand the mentality of his audience. Now, if they choose to shovel money his way because he's one of them, that's one thing. But Marco Rubio and the Trump administration are about to figure out if he's also being paid by enemies of the state. So if you appreciate my concise, potty-trained
commentary. I can't believe that poster's real in the background. Like, for me, this is the books I like. That's the poster I drew of me and my wife. It's actually a canvas. A Lego, a Statue of Liberty, of course, holding the flag I got at the parade. A canter of whiskey, a $2 bill. I have the Lord of the Rings right behind me. I have the Bible, the Quran, I think it's the Bill of Rights. It's like the history of America. The mythologies, a book of mythologies, because it's things I find fascinating, things I find interesting. And of course, I'll keep the Quran, the Holy Quran, right next to the Holy Bible. I keep them right next to each other, just to offend everybody, But yeah, I have like nonsense back there. And if I roll this up, I'll have like a One Piece poster that my wife drew, another One Piece poster that my wife drew, One Piece Legos, One Piece figurines, a world map. I mean, if you've seen like my gaming streams, it's just, you see it back there. And then a few of my wife's books down there, just because there was no room. The sword I got for my wedding, like back in the corner over there. I have like Xbox, I have the PlayStation 2, I have the Dreamcast, I have the original PlayStation, all like in the center console right here in the back. Just because that's what I enjoy. Nobody sees it because I have the green screen down. But yeah, I mean, it's just stuff I enjoy. That I put in the background. I think it shows a bit about me. Rich people just collect lawsuits to never get convicted, to be frank. I think that's to be frank. Yeah, honestly, I believe that. They're able to slap things down. What is it? Slap suit? Something like that. Do you have a RCB jersey? RCB? I don't know what that is. Is your wife Hindu? Yes, she is. I have a few of her books right there. The I don't know what they're called. But the funny thing is, I want to get the scriptures. But the one my wife has is like, it's just like well, she has several other ones because there's like so much. But she has like one with like a lot of the points, like a lot of good phrases, a lot of the true get to the roots. I was hoping there would be one like the size of the Quran, the size of the Bible, that I could slot in right next to the rest, and then I could open and read it my own. But the one, it's just like this little tiny thing. I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Cricket team? I don't watch sports. I mean, I'm surprised I'm keeping up on football. But then again, it's playing here in North America, so that's exciting. Capitalism is a reward-driven ideology. You work hard, you can win the world. Exactly. I mean, that's why I do this, because in the end, I know I can at least achieve something by doing this. Being a voice out there in the void, I can achieve something. Is it going to be a lot? No, but at least it could be something. I mean, like my goal, like I've talked to my wife about this, like my goal is so I can spend more time with her, to get to a point to where I literally make as much here as I do at my full-time job. That's the goal. If I can achieve that, I'm done. And what's funny, I don't make much at my full-time job. I don't make much. I'm below the poverty line. But at the same time, that's why I do YouTube, to compensate it a tiny bit. The thing is, if I can make the same amount here as I do at my job, I'm literally doing good. I'm doing good. I wouldn't be making six figures, not even close. I'd still be like 40,000 away from making six figures, but I'd be doing all right. You
guys got a video? So bad. crash. 왜 있어 아니라